Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, a law that gives desperate new mothers the right to surrender their newborns is having major effects in New England, but it's looking to expand. A Northborough Road fire draws in dozens of firefighters from the surrounding areas. Plus, the new year has inspired the American Cancer Society to come forward with a new initiative. And later in this half hour, a volunteer-based nonprofit organization is looking for more exposure in 2011. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. City Councilor at Large Stephen Levy was sworn in this past Wednesday on Beacon Hill as our next state representative. One of the first duties on his list is to expand on a law that gives desperate new mothers the right to surrender their newborns. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more on this week's top story. Jean and Michael Morrissey, founders of Baby Safe Haven New England, have received the support and promise that their newly elected state representative, Stephen Levy of Marlborough, to file for the amending of the Massachusetts Baby Safe Haven law to include 911 responders as a safe haven site. Baby Safe Haven New England would like Massachusetts to follow the lead of New Hampshire and Vermont as the best Baby Safe Haven laws in New England, with their hospitals, police, and fire stations, and 911 responders as safe haven sites. With this amendment, all of Massachusetts would become a safe haven site.
Newborn infants in particular are the most vulnerable, and I've always been a defender of life, particularly innocent life, and this opportunity to protect newborn children in Massachusetts is the right thing to do.
The law went into effect on October 28, 2004, and allows newborns up to 7 days old to be safely surrendered.
You all right? Baby okay?
Massachusetts has had 15 newborns safely surrendered since the law went into effect. Baby Safe Haven New England has seen great progress in attempting to bring newborn abandonments to an end. By adding 911 responders, there's an opportunity to properly and confidentially respond to women with a 911 responder to a site that has been agreed upon following the call. Baby Safe Haven spokesperson Renee Marcoux is currently in Hawaii, working with the Hawaii legislature in promotional efforts for their Baby Safe Haven law.
If there's anyone looking to get help, you can reach out through the hotline, which is 866-814-SAFE, and you can find that information at babysafehavenlaw.com.
Every life is precious, so anything we can do to increase accessibility to the program, to keep children safe, is something the state should definitely be looking at. So I look forward to getting this passed in the legislature over the next session.
The Marlborough Fire Department dealt with a fire at a nursing home at 121 Northborough Road on Wednesday night with the help of surrounding towns. Staff at a Northborough Road nursing home quickly put out a small ceiling fire Wednesday night that required patients to be evacuated to other parts of the building. Nearly a dozen fire trucks and ambulances from Marlborough, Northborough, Sudbury, and Hudson headed to Marlborough Hills Healthcare Center at 6:37 p.m. on a call about heavy smoke coming from the second floor of one of the facility's two wings. Staff at the facility, which houses 190 elderly residents, had the fire put out with extinguishers before firefighters arrived.
We struck the working fire, called mutual aid for manpower due to the type of facility this is. Obviously a nursing home, very manpower intensive to evacuate. We evacuated about between 30 and 40 patients from that wing.
Two members of the nursing home staff were taken to Marlborough Hospital for evaluation. A department press release says the city's emergency management agency and firefighters set up temporary beds in an activity room for the displaced patients. The cause of the fire was determined to be an electrical malfunction in a fluorescent light fixture. No residents were taken to the hospital, and cleaning crews were able to clear up the affected area overnight.
The city's proposed Economic Development Fund is now in the state legislature's hands. The City Council Monday night approved a home rule petition designed to create a special revenue fund for business and economic development. The petition moves to the legislature, which ultimately decides its fate. In the first part of the process in November, the council approved raising the city's local option hotel tax from 4 to 6%, with the plan to steer the estimated $450,000 in annual revenue to economic development. Council President Arthur Vigent proposed the idea with the ultimate goal of stabilizing the residential tax rate by assigning the additional money for economic development and bringing new growth to the city. The State Department of Revenue has reviewed the petition and said it appears acceptable. Officials have said possible uses for the fund include new staff and a master plan spearheaded by the Marlborough Economic Development Corporation. The tax started January 1st and should collect its first check, possibly about $80,000, around the end of March for the quarter that runs through February. The money would go into the city's general fund until the special fund is established. In addition, the City Council unanimously re-elected Arthur Vigent as its president and Councilor-at-Large Patricia Pope its vice president. For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
Thank you, and I just want to thank
A
you
plan
all.
to close Westboro and Marlborough district courts, part of a package to close a $21 million budget gap, has been put on hold. The Court Relocation Committee, which in July issued a list of 16 court closings and relocations to save money, might still consider closing the courthouses in fiscal year 2012, which begins next July. Fueled by state tax incentives, 7 Metro West life science companies are serving as what Governor Deval Patrick sees as the engine for creating jobs and forging a strong economy. With $2.6 million in tax incentives through a program sponsored by the Massachusetts Life Sciences Center, the companies are vowing to create 131 jobs in 2011. Among the recipients is Synovian Incorporated in Marlborough. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, as we enter the new year, another option to fulfill your exercise resolutions. But first, a nationwide initiative to get you on the right track in 2011. We're back with that story after this short break. Stay with us.
These tiny germs send 200,000 Americans to the hospital every year. Seasonal and pandemic flu spreads by touch, sneeze, and cough. So it's up to you to stop the flu. Get a flu shot. Sneeze or cough in your sleeve or a tissue.
Why, that's right.
Wash your hands with soap or sanitize. And don't bring the bug to work or school. Yes, it's up to you to stop the flu.
80% of U.S. fire deaths occur in the home. Hi, I'm firefighter Mark Asenko, here with some fire safety tips for you. Stay in the kitchen when you are frying, grilling, or broiling food. Talking on the phone, watching TV, using the computer are all distractions that can lead to home fires. Avoid wearing loose-fitting clothing when you are cooking. Pay attention when using the microwave. The simplest things, such as cooking popcorn, could cause a fire. Keep kids and pets away from the stove while you are cooking. Some of these tips may seem obvious, but they do save lives. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
I'm Michael Burns with the New England Revolution, and you're watching WMCT-TV.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The American Cancer Society would like to help women in a major way in 2011. They want you to choose to get active, quit smoking, eat right, and get health checkups. But don't worry, you don't have to do it all on your own. There's a website to help you out. The American Cancer Society is launching a New Year Choose You campaign, an initiative on ChooseYou.com that helps women transform their health-related New Year's resolutions into long-term behavior change that can have a powerful impact on cancer prevention. New Year Choose You is part of the Choose You movement, which was created to draw national attention to the fact that 1 in 3 women will get cancer in her lifetime. Yet, about half of all cancer deaths could be prevented if women maintained a healthy weight through diet and regular exercise, avoided tobacco products, and got recommended cancer screening tests. Through the New Year Choose You initiative, the Society wants to help women stay on track and meet their health goals throughout this year. For more information, please visit ChooseYou.com. In addition to the New Year Choose You campaign, the American Cancer Society is also taking advantage of the winter months with a fundraising event. The Society is also launching a Hope on the Slopes event for the first time ever in Massachusetts at Wachusett Mountain. This downhill skiing and snowboarding event gives everyone in our region a chance to help the organization save lives and create a world with less cancer. Hope on the Slopes will take place from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sunday, March 20th at Wachusett Mountain. Participants have the choice to be part of a team, participate as an individual, and/or compete in a vertical challenge. There are no age restrictions on event participants. The event brings together friends, families, businesses, hospitals, schools, faith-based organizations, and people from all walks of life. For more information, please call Katie Hafner at 508-270-4642. You can also visit cancer.org. The new year is a great time to try new things, and with the only fencing center in the city just opening up, there's now a new and different activity that might spark the interests of you and your family.
The more you do it, the more and more fun it gets. And it gets to the point where you start competing more and it brings out your competitive juices, and it's just thrilling.
Kathy and Robert Patterson decided the fencing looked like fun after their son started the sport 8 years ago. 2 weeks ago, the Pattersons opened what they say is the only fencing center in Marlborough. Crossroads Fencing Center, located at 267 Maple Street in the Kennedy Business Center, offers classes in the Epi style.
Generally, we'll have about 10 minutes of warm-ups and stretching, 20 minutes of footwork. We'll do drills up and down the strip, showing them different footwork moves, different advances, retreats, jumps, lunges, all the footwork element of fencing. Then we'll have them, we'll do a half-hour of drills with a coach or against each other, depending on how advanced they are.
The Pattersons, who started teaching in 2007, had run classes exclusively through community recreation departments in Sudbury, Wayland, and Marlborough. They still hold classes in Sudbury and Wayland. With the new center, the job is full-time, but the Pattersons don't have typical 40-hour work weeks, since after-school, weekends, and holidays are when people are most available to fence. Tournaments are typically held on weekends. The fencers are grouped according to size, age, and ability. Beginners typically start with weekly classes.
When they start out, the hand motions are big, the feet motions are wild, they're all over the place. And as they fence more, you just see everything get more and more refined, everything gets more and more on target, everything gets smaller, more precise, tighter, faster. And you start seeing them doing better at tournaments as that stuff happens also.
For more information, please visit crossroadfencing.com. Coming up, details about the Metro West Animal Awareness Society and your Pet of the Week. Don't move, we're back after this short break.
Every 2 seconds, someone in America needs blood. Nearly 5 million Americans will need a life-saving blood transfusion this year alone.
Every blood donation can save up to 3 lives. While many people know about the chronic shortage in the blood supply across the country, very few people are doing anything about it.
We need your help. Giving blood is easy. It only takes about an hour of your time.
Be a hero. Be a blood donor. Help us save a life.
Okay. Good night.
Can you kiss Smokey too?
Sure, I can kiss Smokey too. Good night, Smokey. Sleep dreams, okay? Night, hon. I love you.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. The Metro West Animal Awareness Society, which is based in Marlborough, is looking for more exposure in 2011. This nonprofit volunteer-based group has no shelter building, and the rescued cats live in volunteer homes. We spoke with the president of the group to find out more.
In Massachusetts, there's actually a huge shortage of shelters and rescues for cats. So you need to be creative in how to address the issue of cat homelessness.
Pet surrenders made headlines last year as people lost their jobs and homes because of the recession. Many more pets were simply abandoned instead of turned over to rescue groups. While the economy seems to be moving out of this recession, Metro West Animal Awareness Society, based in Marlborough, has responded to twice as many abandoned cats in October of this year versus last year at the same time.
Metro West Animal Awareness Society was founded in 2002, and it is focused on reducing cat homelessness in Hudson and Marlborough.
The group took in 17 abandoned adult cats from Marlborough and Hudson alone.
We have 10 to 12 foster homes. That way we get to know their personalities, their health issues, and we can better tell adopters about the cats before they take them home.
Those local families house the strays until they are adopted into permanent homes.
We do show the cats at the Petco in Hudson twice a month. We call these things meow mixers, where you actually get to pet the cats and meet them. And if you like them, you apply. And then after that, you would be able to take them home, usually in a few days.
The mixers are an opportunity to get the cats into the public eye, since the group does not have a shelter that potential adopters can visit. For more information about adoption and to see available cats and kittens, please visit metrowestaware.org.
If you're not someone who can have a cat in your home, sometimes we need someone who does transport to the vets. Sometimes we need people who can hang signs or staff the meow mixers. And, you know, we always need food and we always need money, but there's a lot of ways to be very hands-on with this process as well.
Today we have Kita, and Kita is a lovable, beautiful, husky mix. She's a spayed female, about 3.5 years old, and as much as she loves you, she wants to run away as well. So she will do her best to find a little space under a fence or maybe try and get out the door. So you really have to be careful about where you are and about leaving her alone outside. She's best on a leash only. If she's in a fenced yard, you'd want to keep an eye on her. She's very, very friendly, she's housebroken, and she's going to make a great pet for the right person. So if you're interested in Kita, please feel free to call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
Hi, my name is Daniel. My brother Jacob has autism. Most people don't know what that is. We've learned about autism. To the Autism Alliance of Metro West, we met other families just like ours. Now it's easier for us to do fun things all together. Please visit the website at www.autismalliance.org.
Hi, I'm Molly Kelleher from Kids Corner. Stay up to speed with what's happening at our station. Go to our website at WMCT-TV.com. Every week, we include the daily news break that lets you know what's coming up on our weekend news. You can also learn about all the programs we have to offer and the people that put them together. So go now to WMCT-TV.com.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Before we go, we'd like to remind you that the Public Works Department will once again pick up Christmas trees this year. The DPW is scheduled to collect the trees, which will be recycled from January 10th to the 28th. Residents should leave trees curbside on the same day as trash pickup. Residents can also bring trees to Galone Park off Concord Road. The drop-off area will close the last week in January. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough This Week, the final phase for a new development in the French Hill neighborhood is complete. As we continue to dig out from Wednesday's snowstorm, we have a message from the Department of Public Works. Plus, Evergreen Solar makes an announcement that includes job cuts. And later in this half hour, 2 volunteer opportunities that help make the lives of others easier. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. The new year in Marlborough begins with the completion of a 3-phase renovation project in the French Hill neighborhood that first began in 2007. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more in this week's top story.
We feel really great about this product. We know that there are lots of people around who would fit perfectly here.
St. Mary's Church, Rectory, and School have been adapted to stylish new residences with the development of 11 elegant new townhomes in a campus-like setting overlooking the historic church buildings on one side and a view of Lake Williams on the other.
The units are 2 bedrooms with 2.5 bathrooms with hardwood floors throughout, and with the Lake Williams view, which is the west side, so you can see the sunset right from your window.
An open house took place on Thursday morning to show business leaders of this community the final phase and to answer any questions that attendees might have.
The location is great, so it's really a great product. We're really excited about it, and we think that it's, for the amount of money that it's offered for, it's really a good buy today.
All the townhomes have large windows, central air, energy-efficient gas furnaces, and cathedral ceilings in the bedroom suites.
We like people who buy here because it's a younger people, and we know the product that these younger people look for, and that's what we can do.
Neighbors and former parishioners are very pleased with the renaissance of the new St. Mary's. This isn't the only project that Burdan is excited about. He's also the owner of the recently auctioned off building, Corbin Plaza.
What's happening with that is we have obtained the special permit to construct 17 condominium units and 1 office, and we are in the process of obtaining the site plan review.
The only thing that stands in between him and beginning the construction is financing.
At this point, we just try to maintain the building so it's not deteriorating. Once we obtain the financing, you will see the construction going on. We are excited about the project, and we hope to find a banker who will be as excited as we are.
Within the St. Mary's redevelopment and the Corbin Plaza condominium project, the goal is simple.
With lots of high-tech and various companies around this area, I think what's missing is a really quality living for these people, and that's what we provide here.
The city of Marlborough received a thick white blanket of snow on Wednesday as students enjoyed a day off from school. After the final snow had fallen, over a foot of snow had covered the area. As we continue to dig ourselves out, we just wanted to remind you that trash collection in Marlborough has been delayed by 1 day. Those scheduled for Friday pickup will have trash collected on Saturday, and collection should be back to normal by Monday. If you have any additional questions, please call the Department of Public Works at 508-624-6910. Evergreen Solar announced on Tuesday it was cutting about 800 jobs by closing its Devens plant. It will, however, not be closing its corporate headquarters at 138 Bartlett Street. Here are more details about the cuts and Governor Deval Patrick's reaction. The announcement of the Devens plant closing has prompted some criticism of Governor Deval Patrick. The state sank $58 million into keeping the struggling company afloat, and the governor has suggested Evergreen Solar was essential to the future of alternative energy in Massachusetts. The company has worked hard to compete against heavily subsidized foreign competition and to live up to its commitments to the Commonwealth. Evergreen Solar executives state they decided to close the Devens plant because operating costs, although decreasing, were still much higher than costs overseas. Evergreen says it will continue to run facilities in China and Midland, Michigan. For a group of students next school year, a construction site will be their classroom. Juniors and seniors from Assabet Valley High School are going to build a house during the 2011-2012 school year. The school is now accepting applications from homeowners through January 31st. Assabet Valley Regional Technical High School prides itself on the fact that their students receive hands-on training and real workforce experience during their time at the school. Next year, a group of about 120 students will alternate days at a construction site, which they will spend their full day working on building a home. Carpentry students do interior and exterior work, such as framing the house, installing doors, and building kitchen cabinetry. Students in the plumbing, electrical, and painting and design shops will also do their own work. Although the project may take a little longer than a typical home construction, the cost savings can be significant. The project calls for a one-family home of no more than 2,400 square feet. The owner must have the foundation ready for the start of the school year and agree that the house will be their primary residence for at least 5 years. While students will do most of the work on the project, the homeowner must get subcontractors to complete tasks such as insulation. The State Department of Elementary and Secondary Education will review the project to make sure the school acts properly. Applications are due to the assistant superintendent at the school, located at 215 Fitchburg Street. The project will be selected by lottery from qualified applications before March 1st. Assabet Valley students completely renovated a Southborough home for affordable housing during the 2009-2010 school year. In Marlborough, students are currently renovating the basement of the Bigelow School for the Assabet Valley Collaborative. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, a special healing garden in Harvard, Massachusetts is looking for those who would like to donate their time. But first, a service to help residents get to their medical appointments needs your help. We're back with that story after this short break. Please stay with us.
Firefighter Mark, back with a winter ice safety tip for you. Daily changes in temperatures cause the ice to expand and contract, which affects its strength. If someone does fall through the ice, act quickly and call 911 immediately. Do not go out on the ice to help someone who has fallen in. Would-be rescuers become victims themselves. Extend a branch, pole, or ladder to the victim. Cold water does not have to be icy. It just has to be colder than you are to cause hypothermia. And hypothermia can be deadly. And remember, the only safe ice is at the ice rink.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Most people start off the new year with a new eating plan and a new exercise routine, but some begin with a vow to volunteer more and give more of themselves to their community. If you're looking for a way to do that, we have the program for you.
Service that people greatly value, and when they become aware of it, I'm sure that the need will grow and the demand for volunteers will grow.
A local volunteer program called Friends in Service Helping started to gain momentum in November of last year, but it's looking to expand in 2011, and there's a chance for all to take part. It's a new service which is available in Marlborough that provides rides to medical appointments when family, neighbors, or friends cannot help. We spoke with Larry Vifquain of the program to learn more.
Our goal is to expand this to all of Marlborough. That's going to take some time to grow it, but the more volunteers we get, the easier it is. So for those of you that really want to contribute to the community and help people out, this is really an ideal way.
To schedule a ride, a resident would call 508-485-6492 extension 11 and leave their name, phone number, and the date and time of the appointment. A Friends in Service Helping coordinator will contact you within 48 hours.
A driver obviously transports a client from their home to the appointments and back again. A coordinator is the person that monitors the phone line I spoke of. They monitor that, and they essentially connect a driver with the client.
This service is provided by Fish and is staffed entirely by volunteers.
It's a really easy way to volunteer, and it's very important to the community.
Those interested in volunteering or simply needing more information should call 508-485-6492, extension 11. There are lots of ways to donate your time and talent throughout this community and surrounding towns. The Virginia Thurston Healing Garden, located in Harvard, Massachusetts, will be holding a special open house next Thursday, January 20th, to showcase their volunteer opportunities. The Healing Garden provides therapeutic services and educational programs to people with breast cancer.
Who are in treatment and may not be feeling their best, they can still be in this beautiful space.
Tucked away on a wooded hillside in Harvard, Massachusetts, the Virginia Thurston Healing Garden is an educational nonprofit dedicated to providing a community of support to facilitate the healing process for women experiencing breast cancer.
The Healing Garden was founded in 2000, and the idea was to provide a community of support for women with breast cancer and their families.
Their community extends services to individuals and families as they offer mind-body medicine, education about choices that contribute to health, methods for managing stress, and for improving quality of life.
While the medical procedures and the hospital part of a cancer journey is a part of the journey, it's not the whole journey, and people need to be able to cope with cancer and put their lives back together.
Services are directed at helping you heal, a process that often involves more than medical treatments and procedures.
We have 3 treatment rooms, and we offer the sort of supportive care like acupuncture, massage, sort of gentle body work that helps people cope with the treatment.
The Healing Garden facilities are situated in the midst of 8 acres of lush gardens. The rolling lawns invite walking, and many secluded nooks afford quiet reflection or intimate conversation.
A lot of the services that we do here are based in the idea that nature is a great place for reflection on going through the cancer experience.
The varied spaces include small hedged gardens, grassy paths, fountains, sitting areas overlooking sweeps of lawns, a gazebo, ponds, benches, and lots of flowers.
The smells, the sights of nature are really helpful.
The garden offers services to individuals battling with breast cancer despite their ability to pay.
When a woman comes in these doors and she doesn't have the ability to pay for the kinds of supportive care she needs, we can step up and provide that, both through a reduced fee, sliding scale fee, and through donor support.
Coming up, details about the Metro West Animal Awareness Society and your Pet of the Week. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
Every 2 seconds, someone in America needs blood. Nearly 5 million Americans will need a life-saving blood transfusion this year alone.
Every blood donation can save up to 3 lives. While many people know about the chronic shortage in the blood supply across the country, very few people are doing anything about it.
We need your help. Giving blood is easy. It only takes about an hour of your time.
Be a hero. Be a blood donor. Help us save a life.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. The Metro West Animal Awareness Society, which is based in Marlborough, is looking for more exposure in 2011. This nonprofit, volunteer-based group has no shelter building, and the rescued cats live in volunteer homes. We spoke with the president of the group to find out more.
In Massachusetts, there's actually a huge shortage of shelters and rescues for cats. So you need to be creative in how to address the issue of cat homelessness.
Pet surrenders made headlines last year as people lost their jobs and homes because of the recession. Many more pets were simply abandoned instead of turned over to rescue groups. While the economy seems to be moving out of this recession, Metro West Animal Awareness Society, based in Marlborough, has responded to twice as many abandoned cats in October of this year versus last year at the same time.
Metro West Animal Awareness Society was founded in 2002, and it is focused on reducing cat homelessness in Hudson and Marlborough.
The group took in 17 abandoned adult cats from Marlborough and Hudson alone.
We have 10 to 12 foster homes. That way we get to know their personalities, their health issues, and we can better tell adopters about the cats before they take them home.
Those local families house the strays until they are adopted into permanent homes.
We do show the cats at the Petco in Hudson twice a month. We call these things meow mixers, where you actually get to pet the cats and meet them. And if you like them, you apply. And then after that, you would be able to take them home, usually in a few days.
The mixers are an opportunity to get the cats into the public eye, since the group does not have a shelter that potential adopters can visit. For more information about adoption and to see available cats and kittens, please visit metrowestaware.org.
If you're not someone who can have a cat in your home, sometimes we need someone who does transport to the vets. Sometimes we need people who can hang signs or staff the meow mixers. And, you know, we always need food and we always need money, but there's a lot of ways to be very hands-on with this process as well.
Today we have Pedro, and Pedro was a little stray, and he is a very typical Chihuahua. He's a little tough guy, and when he's sitting on your lap, he's not going to want to share you with anybody else, so he would do best in an adult home, maybe someone that's familiar with Chihuahuas and knows what their personalities are like. They're almost like little babies. They're very loving, and they become very attached to their owners, so they're great companions. If you're interested in Pedro or any of the other pets here at Buddy Dog, please feel free to call us at 978-443-6990.
And before we go, the Marlborough-Hudson Relay for Life kickoff is planned for Monday, January 24th at Coral Seafoods at 6:30 p.m. This is open to anyone who would like more information about the relay that's coming up in May. People must RSVP for the event by calling 508-270-4638. And for more information, please visit relayforlife.org/Marlborough-Hudson MA. That's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough This Week, just as we dug ourselves out from the last snowstorm, we get hit with yet another 8 inches. An unfortunate car crash on Wednesday night causes delays on Route 20. Plus, the Marlborough Police Department needs your help solving a local robbery. And later in this half hour, our new state representative wants to hear from you. How you can meet him is coming up. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. Another snowstorm has made its way through our city, dropping another 8 inches of snow. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more on this week's top story. With all the recent winter weather, the DPW has been very busy keeping our streets clear this winter. The problem now is where to put all of this snow.
Well, yet another storm that we're dealing with today. This comes on the heels of 2 or 3 other storms, 2 or 3 other major storm events that we've had in the city with little or no melting that's taken place in between the storms. And as anyone who has been on the roadways knows, we've got very little in the way of space to place this snow. But we're continuing our efforts today to get these areas opened up, and then we'll focus some attention on actually picking up the snow over the weekend to open up some corridors that have been really narrowed down since over the last couple of weeks with all the snowfall.
In what's becoming an all too familiar routine, students and parents awoke on Friday morning to find Marlborough among the many other communities across the state with another long weekend. But unlike the school children, most of us, including letter carrier Steve Erba, had to make their way into work on Friday morning.
It's been tough the first couple of weeks here of January. Seemed to get more snow this year than we did all of last.
Steve said it was the timing of this particular storm that was making his job so difficult.
When it comes in the morning, it's tough for the people to get up and shovel first thing, so your beginning part of your route is usually all snow covered.
Then you have those hardy New Englanders who embrace this winter weather.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's New England weather. You got to take it as it comes. Shoveling sometimes is a bear, but you have to love it until you get on a Mass Pike or one of the other parking lots, and it's not so serene.
So the DPW will be working around the clock to remove some of this snow just in time for our next potential storm expected on Wednesday. An unfortunate car crash caused delays Wednesday night on Route 20, and we were there. A Marlborough woman is okay after her SUV rolled over as she came off Interstate 495 on Wednesday night. The woman was driving her Toyota RAV4 on the 495 ramp onto Route 20 when she hit a snowbank. The car came to rest near the Holiday Inn at 265 Lakeside Ave at about 5:30 p.m. The woman refused medical treatment as traffic backed up after the rush hour accident. In addition, about 20 minutes after this crash, another car crash happened at 410 Lakeside Ave. Luckily, no one was hurt in either crash. The Marlborough Police Department is dealing with the aftermath of a local convenience store robbery, and they need your help. Here are the details. Police continued their search on Wednesday for 2 men suspected in armed robbery at Honey Farms on Tuesday. One of the men is described as being between 5'5" and 5'7" with a medium build. The other man is described as being between 5'7" and 5'9" with a skinny build. Police did not state what was taken from the convenience store at 168 Pleasant Street. No one was hurt in the robbery. Anyone with information is asked to call the Marlborough Police Department at 508-485-1212 and please ask for the detectives unit. Evergreen Solar announced last week that it was cutting about 800 jobs by closing its Devens plant. It will, however, not be closing its corporate headquarters at 138 Bartlett Street. Governor Deval Patrick isn't happy about the announcement and is now taking some action. Massachusetts expects to recover about $13 million from the abrupt shutdown of a solar panel manufacturer that had received tens of millions in state aid. Economic Development Secretary Greg Bielecki states the $13 million includes a portion of the grants and benefits the state offered Evergreen Solar to encourage it to build its plant in Devens. One benefit required Evergreen Solar to employ a certain number of workers over a specified number of years. The company, which says it will keep its Marlborough headquarters, hadn't met that goal when it closed the plant. The city's easterly wastewater treatment plant is about to receive a major upgrade. A public meeting was held on Wednesday night to discuss residents' concerns regarding the plant. With an estimated $59 million upgrade in the works for the city's easterly wastewater treatment plant, residents want to make sure project officials focus on keeping a lid on odors. The plant at 860 Boston Post Road East must undergo federally mandated improvements, which are in the design phase. Residents at a public meeting Wednesday night stated smells from the plant are their primary concern. Project officials are considering the use of 2 odor control systems, one biofilter and one carbon system at the treatment plant. The City Council's Treatment Plant Review Committee is next scheduled to meet Monday at 7. For more information, please visit marlborough-ma.gov. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough This Week, a new store is on target to open in March, and it's bringing lots of job opportunities our way. But first, our local Chamber of Commerce celebrates the success of our city. We're back with that story after this short break. Please stay with us.
Firefighter Mark, back with a winter ice safety tip for you. Daily changes in temperatures cause the ice to expand and contract, which affects its strength. If someone does fall through the ice, act quickly and call 911 immediately. Do not go out on the ice to help someone who has fallen in. Would-be rescuers become victims themselves. Extend a branch, pole, or ladder to the victim. Cold water does not have to be icy. It just has to be colder than you are to cause hypothermia. And hypothermia can be deadly. And remember, the only safe ice is at the ice rink.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. On Thursday night, the Chamber of Commerce took a moment to highlight the acknowledgments the city has received in the last few months.
Longtime residents of Marlborough may often be overheard telling others that they believe their city is #1. But this past month, Bloomberg Business Week made it official in one very important category. Named the best place to raise your kids in Massachusetts, Marlborough was ready for some celebration as the Chamber of Commerce gathered at the Embassy Suites.
The criteria for this was based on school performance, crime statistics, cost of living, accessibility to recreational facilities. We have so much to offer for families, but more importantly, we also have a lot to offer for businesses. I am so proud to be able to lead this community and have the distinction that we are the best place to raise children.
And not to be outdone, Marlborough Hospital had its fair share of boasting to do as well, as it was recently named the second best hospital in the state for treating heart attack victims.
We've been working very hard, the staff and the physicians of Marlborough Hospital, to really be your community hospital. And I think starting last year with the 2009 Betsy Lehman Award, which we were honored for our work in reducing hospital-acquired infections. As of today, we've gone over 27 months without a central line infection in our organization.
Newly elected Chamber Chairman Dave Walton takes great pride in what Marlborough has already accomplished and in what may lie ahead in the future.
When you're talking about how many communities that they did rank,
and Marlborough was #1 in Massachusetts. It's just, when you look at the Concords, the Lincolns, the Lexingtons, all these communities that are very wealthy, didn't match up to Marlborough. And being originally from Concord, Mass myself, I said, when you look at Marlborough, why not? I mean, it's just an incredible city. It really is.
When a company is looking for somewhere to locate, quality of life is very important. And we have it all. Marlborough has it all. And you will be seeing more and more this year in 2011 because we're going to tell the world about it.
For Marlborough This Week, I'm Rob O'Keefe.
Construction for a new store is nearing completion, and the opening date is just around the corner. This will be the second Target store for Marlborough, and it's bringing in hundreds of job opportunities. Target is now hiring up to 250 employees for its new Route 20 store scheduled to open March 6th. The general merchandise store will be located at the intersection of Route 20 and DeCenzo Boulevard. Target has another Marlborough store located at 423 Donald Lynch Boulevard. Target had originally planned to open the new store in early 2010, but put the project on hold in late 2008. Major construction on the 135,000 square foot store started again in 2010. Stores typically take about 1 year to build. Target's plans called for a store that employs 150 to 250 workers. Coming up, our new state rep will be holding office hours to hear from our local residents. We'll give you the details, plus your pet of the week. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
Every 2 seconds, someone in America needs blood. Nearly 5 million Americans will need a life-saving blood transfusion this year alone.
Every blood donation can save up to 3 lives. While many people know about the chronic shortage in the blood supply across the country, very few people are doing anything about it.
We need your help. Giving blood is easy. It only takes about an hour of your time.
Be a hero. Be a blood donor. Help us save a life.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Our newly elected state representative is about to get out into the public to hear the concerns of residents. If you have questions, you'll have the opportunity to voice them in February. New State Representative Stephen Levy will be holding his first office hours in the coming weeks. Levy will meet with constituents on Friday, February 4th throughout his district, which covers Marlborough, Berlin, and Precinct 1 in Southborough. Levy will be at Lowe's, located at 19 Central Street in Berlin, from 10 to 11 a.m. Then he'll be off to Southborough House of Pizza, located at 5 Main Street, from 11:30 a.m. to 12:45 p.m. And finally, his district office in the Walker Building, room 106, located at 255 Main Street in Marlborough, from 1 to 2. Residents who would like to speak with Levy and cannot attend office hours can contact his State House office at 617-722-2425, extension 7307.
Today we have Pip, and Pip is what I like to call a bit of a project. He's pretty much had his own way. He was adopted here at Buddy Dog and then returned for being a little bit nippy. So he definitely needs a confident, experienced owner who will set some boundaries for Pip, maybe with some professional help. He's cute as a button, and he really wants to try. So if you feel like you might be able to give him the right home, please call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
The Marlborough-Hudson Relay for Life kickoff is planned for this Monday, January 24th at Coral Seafoods at 6:30 p.m. This is open to anyone who would like more information about the relay. People must RSVP for the event by calling 508-270-4638. And just a reminder that due to Tuesday's winter weather, the Friends of the Marlborough Public Library canceled their presentation titled The Apple Industry in Marlborough. The event has been rescheduled for Wednesday, April 6th at 7 p.m. at our local library. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, Marlborough schools were closed yet again on Thursday due to snow-related issues as the city received another foot of snow. The Human Services Department discussion continued at this week's City Council meeting, plus Governor Deval Patrick released his proposed budget on Wednesday, citing a 7% cut in local aid. And later in this half hour, one local high school student is off to Hollywood. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. As the city received another foot of snow on Wednesday night into Thursday morning, the safety of our residents is yet again the topic of discussion. From bus stops to hydrants, the city needs your help to make it through this tough winter season. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more on this week's top story.
Obviously, everybody is getting sick of the snow. I think no one more than our Department of Public Works, who has been out there nonstop for the last couple of weeks. And we just want to ask our residents to really help out. Shovel out your fire hydrant. That's really important. Our firefighters are out there trying to do it, but with the number of fire hydrants in the community, they're not going to physically be able to get to every hydrant. So I think it's really important that residents take that time when you're out snow blowing your driveway, clear the hydrant. We're also very concerned about the students and the bus stops. Obviously, there's so much snow, there's no place to put it. A lot of our intersections have big snow mounds. What we're asking our students to do is to stand at the nearest cleared driveway rather than at a corner. That way the bus drivers have been notified. They will stop at the bus stop and they will wait for the students to come. Students should really remain in that open driveway.
The DPW would also like to ask residents to leave their trash and recyclables at the end of their driveways and not on top of the snowbanks.
We would like to see a better effort made throughout the community to remove that snow and contain that snow on their individual private properties. All too often we see residents who bring their vehicles out onto the roadway and clear their snow from their cars, and that just causes some major issues for us after we've already been by and plowed the street.
This has been an extraordinary winter, and we really need our residents' cooperation. We need parents to help out with making sure that the students are safe. There's just no place to put all this snow. We don't have any choice right now, so we're really asking for patience and cooperation with our residents to make sure that our students are safe. Make sure that you check on your elderly neighbors and friends, because a lot of times they may be in the house, may not be able to get out, and really this is a community that comes together in time of need, and we're really in some extraordinary times with this weather.
With the recent snowstorms, the Department of Public Works has been working overtime to ensure the safety of our residents. With the unusual amount of snow that has fallen in just the month of January, our snow budget has already been increased. Marlborough employs over 100 vehicles for its snow removal operations. Not only plows, but snow blowers, dump trucks, front-end loaders, and sand and salt trucks. About half of these vehicles are actually owned by the city, while the rest are operated by private contractors. Snow removal is given the highest priority in the downtown area and the schools and school walking routes. In heavy overnight storms like the ones on December 26th, January 12th, and January 27th, the city's massive snowblowers usually start working on Main Street at around midnight to allow major roads to be open by 7 a.m. Once the streets are clear of snow, which may take several passes with the plows, the city begins its salt and sand operations. There are 13 salt routes along the major roads and 19 sand routes which cover smaller streets. As of last week, the DPW had ordered 600 tons of salt and 400 tons of sand to prep for future storms this winter. With only so many drivers and so many vehicles, keeping up with a big snowstorm requires a lot of work on a very tight budget.
The sheer number of storms and the size of the storms that we've had has caused each event to be as costly a storm as we've had recently.
The city's snow budget usually is about $500,000. But for the last 3 years, however, winter storms have cost the city around $1.5 million on average, with some years costing nearly $2 million. The City Council voted to increase the snow and ice deficit by $500,000 on Monday night. State law allows such deficit spending as winter storms are impossible to predict. When added to the $500,000 in the city budget, another $500,000 already approved for the deficit account, this week's vote brings the total to $1.5 $3.5 million, of which roughly a little over $1 million has already been spent.
We are going to be well into that second deficit authorization as the invoicing starts coming in for the last couple of storms.
When the snow season is over, money from the city's surplus account will be transferred to cover the final cost incurred for the winter. Councilors will again discuss the heated topic of the city's human services following the mayor's submission of a proposal to consolidate several departments. The city council Monday night referred the discussion to its human services committee. The council voted 6-5 last May to cut all funding from the human services department in fiscal year 2011, which began July 1st. With a pledge to seek money to buy land and build a new senior center, Mayor Nancy Stevens Monday night asked the city council for $23,000 to update an 8-year-old feasibility study initiated by former Mayor William Morrow. Councilors want their finance committee to review the request prior to taking any votes to update this study that was conducted in 2002. The document provided the city with a space needs analysis, evaluated available sites, and developed building options and cost estimates for the center. In other business, city councilors have approved a request from the New England Sports Center to add 16 video and other games at its 121 Donald Lynch Boulevard site. Approval came on Monday night after a public hearing earlier in the evening, during which no opposition was heard. In April, less than a year ago, lawmakers also approved a plan to add a 6th rink because of growing demand. In addition to the rinks and video games, NESC currently has a hockey pro shop, a heated ice viewing area, private function rooms, a full-service restaurant, snack bar, and team rooms. At the school committee meeting Tuesday night, Superintendent Anthony Pope outlined a plan to revamp the school district's curriculum with the focus on making sure all students are ready to succeed in a technological world. Pope told the school committee that one of his top priorities is developing a strong curriculum in this district, and students need to be literate in a number of fields, including global awareness, media, civics, and the environment. Involving parents is also a key element for student success in the curriculum plan. School committee members also pressed for curriculum to be relevant for each student in Marlborough's diverse population. Pope states that the 2011-2012 school year will be a busy one as the school department focuses on what the curriculum is going to look like. The 2012-2013 school year will continue that work. In his first year as superintendent, Pope says he's looking for broad input, including teachers and parents, in the curriculum development process. Governor Deval Patrick released his proposed budget on Wednesday, citing a 7% cut in local aid. We found out how some of these potential cuts could affect Marlborough. Governor Deval Patrick released his $30.5 billion budget proposal this week that would cut $570 million from last year's spending. Among the cuts would be a 7% cut to local aid, much to the dismay of State Representative Stephen Levy.
I have to admit I'm a little disappointed in the fact that they cut local aid as much as they did and didn't focus so much on reforms as I think they should have. Ultimately, local aid, unrestricted local aid, was cut about $65 million across the state. Education funding overall from last year is down about $80 million because of the loss of stimulus money. So, a total of about $140 million across the state. Marlborough is probably in a pretty good position to absorb any impact from that. We've got the city positioned well. So I'm not too concerned about Marlborough, but I'm more concerned about the other towns in the district like Berlin and Southborough.
Mayor Nancy Stevens agrees that Marlborough is in a good position to handle a potential 7% cut in aid.
To me, this was actually very good news. While the governor's proposed budget has a decrease in local aid, he has an increase in his budget for Chapter 70 spending. So for Marlborough, actually, we end up net receiving about $245,000 more in the governor's proposed budget. There's about $430,000 increase in Chapter 70 money, which is our educational spending. And then there's a decrease of about $335,000 in what's called the other government, the local aid. But we as a community look at the number as a whole. It's what is the entire local aid package, including Chapter 70, that we get in. So we look at it as one number. So for us, between the increase in Chapter 70, the decrease in other government local aid, and then our assessments, which is a list of what the government gives you, the state gives you, they take away. For example, charter schools sending tuition, they've actually decreased our assessment. We get assessed for the MBTA and the Regional Transit Service. That all comes off the top. So we actually are looking at about a $245,000 increase.
Council President Arthur Vigin says the City Council saw this coming and have been preparing for cuts.
We've been anticipating it for the last couple of years, and that's why we've been very conservative on our estimated local receipts and our budgets. And this year, with the proposal the governor's put out, looks like we may be close to where we were last year, but I know when Tom Abel does his budget, he'll be planning on a reduction of probably as much as 10%.
This is only the governor's proposal. The budget still has to go through the legislative process, but Stephen Levy says he would not support any budget that has significant cuts in local aid.
You know, my position, like I said, and I campaigned on this, is that local aid has got to be the top priority for state government. And I will work hard. I'm going to go through the budget, try to find areas of reform that I think can make a difference, that might free up some monies to keep local aid level funded from last year. And any budget that comes to the floor that is not level funded, I will vote against.
A state official toured a local company's headquarters right here in Marlborough on Tuesday, and we were there. Greg Bielecki, Secretary of Housing and Economic Development, toured Ken's Foods headquarters right here in Marlborough on Tuesday to hear from local business owners and discuss the Patrick administration's efforts to support increased economic development opportunities along the 495 corridor.
As part of his outreach program to interact with the business community and to see what the Commonwealth can do, both at the state and local level, just to help get the economy going, invigorated, and create some jobs.
The tour is part of an ongoing partnership between the administration, local officials, and business owners to discuss plans for regional economic growth. Ken's Foods headquarters has been in Marlborough since 1958. That's 50 years of success, and they are looking for more in the future.
We also have a plant in Georgia, a manufacturing facility in Atlanta as well. We employ roughly 500 people here in Massachusetts, and this is corporate headquarters.
During Tuesday's discussion, Sotheby and Bielecki took some time to go over what Ken's Foods is all about, in addition to seeing how they can work together to create a better partnership for increased growth in the future.
Whether it be state incentives to help us grow, we are in a growth mode, or whether it be what they can do to help us just add jobs and grow our workforce here in Massachusetts. So it's really just all about just what can they do to better partner with the business community to help us all grow and prosper here in Mass.
A company identified as Milo Realty Trust has bought the vacant building in Maple Street that once housed a branch office of the Registry of Motor Vehicles. According to the Division of Capital Asset Management, they'd paid over $303,000 for the single-story office space. 11 bidders participated in an auction held Monday at the Westin in Waltham. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, the American Cancer Society is gearing up for a few fundraisers this spring, and the event lineup includes the Relay for Life for Marlborough and Hudson. We're back with that story after this short break. Please stay with us.
Hi, my name is Daniel. My brother Jacob has autism.
Most people don't know what that is. We've learned about autism. Through the Autism Alliance of Metro West, we met other families just like ours. Now it's easier for us to do fun things all together. Please visit the website at www.autismalliance.org.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The 2011 Relay for Life Marlborough Hudson kicked off with an opening reception at Coral Seafoods this week. The night is all about looking back at last year, looking ahead to this year, and telling all interested residents why this is a great event for all to be involved with. Relay for Life 2011 Marlborough Hudson has officially kicked off as of Monday night. Committee members and interested members of this community came out to start up the conversation for this year's event that takes place in May. The American Cancer Society Relay for Life is a life-changing event that gives everyone in communities across the globe a chance to celebrate the lives of people who have battled cancer, remember loved ones lost, and fight back against the disease. At Relay, teams of people camp out at a local high school, park, or fairground and take turns walking or running around a track or path. Each team is asked to have a representative on the track at all times during the event. Because cancer never sleeps, Relays are overnight, and events last up to 24 hours in length. Although every Relay for Life is different, there are certain traditions at all relays, no matter where they are held. These traditions help participants celebrate, remember, and fight back. Stay with WMCT-TV for all the latest concerning this highly successful city event. Now, the relay doesn't come until May, but the American Cancer Society is something you can do today. Here are the details about the new Choose You campaign and about a skiing fundraiser that's coming up in March. The American Cancer Society is launching a New Year Choose You campaign, an initiative on ChooseYou.com that helps women transform their health-related New Year's resolutions into long-term behavior change that can have a powerful impact on cancer prevention. New Year Choose You is part of the Choose You movement, which was created to draw national attention to the fact that 1 in 3 women will get cancer in her lifetime. Yet, about half of all cancer deaths could be prevented if women maintained a healthy weight through diet and regular exercise, avoided tobacco products, and got recommended cancer screening tests. Through the New Year Choose You initiative, the Society wants to help women stay on track and meet their health goals throughout this year. For more information, please visit ChooseYou.com. The Society is also launching a Hope on the Slopes event for the first time ever in Massachusetts at Wachusett Mountain. This downhill skiing and snowboarding event gives everyone in our region a chance to help the organization save lives and create a world with less cancer. Hope on the Slopes will take place from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sunday, March 20th at Wachusett Mountain. Participants have the choice to be part of a team, participate as an individual, and or compete in a vertical challenge. There are no age restrictions on event participants. The event brings together friends, families, businesses, hospitals, schools, faith-based organizations, and people from all walks of life. For more information, please call Katie Hafner at 508-270-4642. You can also visit cancer.org. Another event that's coming up in March is called Spin for Hope. The fundraising event takes place at the Wayside Racquet and Swim Club and again will benefit the American Cancer Society. You can sign up now or on the day of the event, but keep in mind, participants must raise $800 per bike to ride. Wayside Racquet and Swim Club in Marlborough will once again host Spin for Hope on Sunday, March 6th from 9 a.m. to noon. This is a 3-hour indoor cycling event to raise funds for the American Cancer Society. This is Wayside's 7th year hosting the event, and the goal is to raise over $25,000.
It's 3 hours. There were a few brave souls that rode the whole 3 hours, and other people who ride in teams, where I could get on the bike for an hour or even a half hour, and then you would take over for a little while. I believe the minimum requirement is $800 for a bike, so that's a team of 4 raising $200 apiece.
The club is seeking community members to spin for the duration of the event, organize teams of spinners, and or volunteer at the club the day of the event.
I think we'll have people of all walks. I think there'll be a few cancer survivors themselves here on the bikes, young and old, a lot of team orientation. And I've already spoken to a handful of our spinning diehards that are planning on riding the whole 3 hours by themselves as well.
Funds raised through Spin for Hope will support the American Cancer Society's programs of cancer research, education, advocacy, and service.
You can sign up that morning. I would say registration probably opens at about 8:30, so we're ready to go at the 9 o'clock event, and you'd come right here to Wayside and you can register.
For more information about Spin for Hope or to participate, please call 1-800-227-2345 or visit cancer.org/spinforhope. Coming up, a high school freshman is off to Hollywood this weekend. One local club is celebrating 60 years of service, and we have your Pet of the Week. Don't move. We're back with those stories after this short break.
Firefighter Mark, back with a winter ice safety tip for you. Daily changes in temperatures cause the ice to expand and contract, which affects its strength. If someone does fall through the ice, act quickly and call 911 immediately. Do not go out on the ice to help someone who has fallen in. Would-be rescuers become victims themselves. Extend a branch, pole, or ladder to the victim. Cold water does not have to be icy. It just has to be colder than you are to cause hypothermia. And hypothermia can be deadly. And remember, the only safe ice is at the ice rink.
Ice, baby. Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Freshman David Dorsey has just finished his midterm exams at Marlborough High this week and is now off to Hollywood in search of an acting career. We spoke with him and his mom this week to get more on the story. Here's Rob O'Keefe.
This week, Marlborough High School freshman David Dorsey shoveled his driveway for the last time this winter. This weekend, David, along with his mother and brother, will be boarding a plane headed for sunny California, where David is hoping to launch his acting career. David is fairly new to the acting scene, though his love for acting started at an early age.
Well, I first started acting around last December. I applied for a competition in Orlando, Florida, and I got in, where I competed against a few hundred other kids, and we did monologues, TV commercials, sitcom, all the good stuff.
While in Orlando, David received high praise from agents and talent scouts.
There's a director who has helped him, got him all the way down to New York to the International Modeling and Talent Association, IMTA, that he was at for a week in New York in July, where he won all these awards. And he says he's got it. And whatever that it is, he says he's got it. And so like I was saying to somebody else, we'll pack it up, we'll take it with us, you know, and we'll carry it on the plane with us, and we'll get it out there and see if that will work for him.
After some acting classes and more wins in other acting competitions, it was no problem to convince Mom to move the family to LA, right?
Well, that part was a little bit difficult, but basically after the competition, when I had found my manager and he decided he wanted to work with us, and I had already gotten some work, we decided that was the smartest thing to do.
It didn't take a lot, only because of the fact that I'm very blessed to have two great sons who are successful when they pick something up and they want to do something. And the fact that I've been in the television radio business for almost 25 years made it easy for me to understand what to do and the process to take to help him out. But he's got talent, he's got ability, he's got the all-American look, he's got, you know, he's such a high honors student, he's very intelligent, he does an incredible amount of voices, and he can remember lines like this, but I think the key thing for me was he just makes me laugh. He's engaging, and he's got charisma, and he's popular, and so for me it was like, you know what, when he stands up in front of that, I see this wonderful thing happen, and then when he got training, I said, yeah, I think it's time for us to give this a shot.
David said he wouldn't be picky about the roles he chooses, but would prefer television to movies, which is why they chose this time of year to make the move.
Well, right now it's pilot season, which is when they're starting all the new shows, trying to get them on the air, seeing if they'll get approved to be on TV. So now is when they're casting the most TV shows, and when I think I'd have the best opportunity.
While living in Los Angeles, David and his brother Kevin will be attending North Hollywood High School, which lists Cuba Gooding Jr. and Allison Hannigan among their alums. At Marlborough High School, David is an honor student and a three-sport athlete. He is already thinking about college and hopes some of his acting jobs will help pay for his schooling.
I want to get into Boston College, and I think that this is going to be a good way to help to pay the tuition for that, since it's a very expensive school and it's projected to get even higher. So, yeah, it's probably going to help out with that.
The Dorseys are very excited about their new adventure, but Cindy says they will miss Marlborough.
Well, one of the things that's going to be sad to leave for the period of time we're gone is Marlborough as a community. Our family has been very involved in this city from the beginning, whether it be involved with the Chamber or the Scouts or the wonderful Marlborough Youth Baseball Association, the school system. And I've tried to teach the boys all along to give back to the community, to always give. And whenever that phone rings and someone needs help, you go. And so that's something that's a really unique and special part of Marlborough. That's what we're used to with the folks of Marlborough. So we're going to miss giving to Marlborough, and we're going to miss the people that we give to and that we give with. But hopefully with our success, we'll do Marlborough proud, and we'll come back and give back to Marlborough at the right time.
So where will you see David Dorsey next? He has already shot a print ad for Minute Maid, which will be featured in national magazines and a television commercial for Google. But with Adam Sandler and Will Ferrell as his favorite actors, he already has a dream role in mind.
You're my boy, Blue! I'd probably be Will Ferrell's son. That'd be great.
For Marlborough This Week, I'm Rob O'Keefe.
The Marlborough Lions Club is celebrating its 60th anniversary. A celebration will be taking place this weekend at the Courtyard by Marriott on Felton Street. The club was formed in 1951, and members devote their time and talent to make this community a better place. Anyone interested in joining the Marlborough Lions Club can call 508-808-1134.
Today we have Pedro. And Pedro was a little stray, and he is a very typical Chihuahua. He's a little tough guy, and when he's sitting on your lap, he's not going to want to share you with anybody else, so he would do best in an adult home, maybe someone that's familiar with Chihuahuas and knows what their personalities are like. They're almost like little babies. They're very loving, and they become very attached to their owners, so they're great companions. If you're interested in Pedro or any of the other pets here at Buddy Dog, please feel free to call us at 978-443-6990.
Just a reminder that due to this week's snowstorm, 2 events have been postponed. Superintendent Anthony Pope's Parent Community Forum scheduled for Wednesday night is now scheduled for Tuesday, February 1st at 7:30 p.m. in the District Education Center. The focus will be grade reconfiguration in our schools. And the Marlborough Public Library canceled the welcoming reception for our new library director, Margaret Cardillo. The reception has been rescheduled for Tuesday, February 15th from 6 to 8 p.m. in the library's Bigelow Auditorium. The public is invited to attend and there's no admission fee. For further information, please call 508-481-1833. That's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.